So we have a problem. Clear water in July. The wind has been unrelenting this week and haven't got any clear water to lure fish at all. So we're heading down the coast, find the nearest bit of clear water just to try and find some mackerel or bass. Give us a chance to fish with the lures and feathers. And we've actually ended up here in Seaford. We're in, we've got some mackerel, lovely. What I've done is I've dropped the weight size a little bit. That's a 3 ounce. So I've dropped the weight a little bit, just keeps it a little bit higher up in the water. They seem to make the difference, plus they're at distance as well. I do love mackerel, what a great fish they are. I'm going to give this float rig a go. I like how the water's sitting behind us. Some of that fresh mackerel we just caught onto one of those cigar floats. So that wind should push it. That wind should push it towards us. So the other rod I'm going to have a little play around with is this one. It's a bit of a hybrid. I keep breaking the rods, but that is a Shimano Dialuna tip. I'm well aware of all that water behind me. And the Shimano Nasi, that's the reel there with 15-pound braid and fluorocarbon. And I paired it, I bodged it together with a gunky warm-up. So it's about a 6.5 foot rod. So this is Google Earth Pro I'm using here. It's really good actually for finding marks, but also the Street View version on it sometimes goes across the beach. They use a little rover that goes across the beach. So if you are going anywhere in the UK or abroad, it's really worth checking out before you go. You can see here, this is Seaford Beach. You can actually adjust the settings so you can look at it in low tide. I'll leave a link to our how to use Google Earth video under this one. And if you are coming down to Seaford at all, then the M23 is the key if you're coming sort of London bound. The A259 runs through the coast. We've got the float rod doing a business down there, everything pushing up against this breakwater. I'm going to just flick the lure down a bit. Out. So I've got one rod out with a float, that's been dragged around by the wind and tide, and then I'm back on the lures here as well, so I can leave that float out there and still manage to put a few casts in with the lure, so we'll give that a go. So we're using those little Sabikis, and they are very, very effective for mackerel. Of course, once you get one on, it attracts the others, and you can have a string of 6. It can be a bit ridiculous. In terms of actual angling, I prefer to cut down to 3 of these bigger Hawkeye type lures. You see they're like a mini lure all in themselves, but a string of 3 is usually enough once you find the fish, because I tend to use those Sabikis just to find the mackerel are actually there. And then once you are fishing for mackerel, there's a few options. You sometimes use these very small lures here. You can always swap the trebles out for singles. Very often things like, you know, just a basic little metal like that. And these single sort of lures like this, 23 gram here, this is a seeker. These come with like a single hook or the treble. Stick the single on. You're only going to get one mackerel on there, but on something like a braided line on the lure rod, that's going to be terrific for mackerel. Instead of a hook on your mackerel feathers, why not tie on a weightier lure as well? Gives you a chance of something like a bass as well. I have occasionally picked up bass on that while feathering for mackerel. You can try little drop shot rigs like this. And another way, if you're a real connoisseur, how about fly fishing? And we'll be looking at that on the channel again this year. So you don't have to use those Sabikis, and actually they can be a bit clumsy with the braid. So we got snagged with these mackerel. It doesn't help having a braided line. I definitely recommend some monofilament instead. Well, it's getting a bit tough around there with the wind. Plenty of weed coming up, so I'm going to give it another go around here. There's a little bit of shelter where you see where we've just been. I'm just going to drop it off the end here for a few casts. The forecast was for this wind, so no complaints. We'll see how we go fishing around this next bay. Lovely bit of coastline around here. Oh, some real character. Down on the open beach now. Casting at maximum range. Got to be out there somewhere. So check out this video here on the top right. That's what YouTube thinks you should be watching next. Thanks for watching.